I do want to apologize for the audio, by the way, in this video. I've noticed that just now I've noticed that the gain was turned up way too high because I guess I was struggling before. But yeah, I do want to apologize to the really crappy audio, and I will say that you may want to turn your headphone down. Um, I've lowered the gain now so that hopefully it's not blaring in your ear. But yeah, I want to apologize. Sorry. Okay, now back to the real deal. Hello and welcome to another painting. I don't want to say speed painting because I feel like it's not that fast. It's a little bit sped up because we're trying a new thing. So let's get into this video. Hello and welcome back. Update on the computer. In case you missed it, I did a hard factory reset on my desktop and it broke. So I managed to fix it, which is great, so that I can come out with this video. But yeah, so because it was a factory reset on purpose, by the way, don't need to freak out. I just wanted to get rid or clean out my computer because it had a lot of files that I didn't know what they were or where they came from. Cotton Eye Joe. But yeah, so like I did that. After 2 weeks, I finally got it fixed by myself, might I add. I'm not saying I'm smart, I'm just saying I'm resourceful. But yeah, so because it's back to its default, I had to make some changes. The first one being downloading all my apps and stuff, reorganizing things. But more importantly, the desktop was the default wallpaper. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen this. It's not a bad wallpaper. It's just a bit too lacks personality. And I already faced that personally, so I don't need a reminder. So let's get into it. I didn't know what did I want to draw in the first place. So I went onto Pinterest and I scrolled through my feed to look for inspiration and I found a landscape. Now, I want to disclaim something. Pinterest, what have you been offering me lately? Like yesterday, I was on my Pinterest feed and there were some inappropriate pictures on there. Like, I sat there and I'm like, Pinterest, listen, bro, I have like female warrior poses being saved to my board, and I get that they don't wear a whole lot of clothes because it's like an anatomy thing for a drawing reference. But why are you suggesting me these? Like, damn. So if you see any of those while I scroll on by, ignore them. This is not a video for children. I never make videos intended for children, but I am relatively clean. It's just because I swear a lot. But outside of that, I try to keep it clean. Pinterest, what are you doing? Like, I'm the type of person that slightly uncomfortable with those things. But yeah, so like, I don't know what you're doing. Besides the point though, I do find landscapes that I'm like, do you know what they make me think of? It makes me think of the pen drawings of landscapes that I did last year. And I thought it might be cool to do that as a landscape, and also as a wallpaper for my desktop. So that is what we do. I look at some references and then I go into Medibang, and at first I'm a bit overwhelmed at Medibang because I'm looking at all the new brushes that they added. And I'm like, oh, you adding more brushes, Medibang? Oh my gosh. Amazing. This is why ever since like 2016 I've been using Medibang, and even though I have Photoshop now, I'm still using Medibang to do my speed paintings. But yeah, it's like a free program too, so that's just a cherry on top. When I become too broke to use Adobe, I know that Medibang still got my back. So yeah, that is where we end up. And yeah, I start drawing. I start with a composition sketch of the landscape, and then I go in with a inking brush to do the job. Now, I do two landscapes. The first one I wasn't too pleased with, not because of the composition, but I think it was the brush stroke. So in my little reptile brain, I think to myself, why don't we do a landscape, a different one, and change the thickness of the brush that we're using? And let me tell you, it makes a difference. Line thickness makes a difference. So yeah, I do a second landscape. That's the one that I go with, by the way. It's what I end up with for my wallpaper. Sorry, brain fart. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm quite pleased. And the brush texture is looking good. So yeah, good thing. I was going, like, I set out 3 hours to record the video and stuff, not including recording the voiceover. But yeah, turns out I didn't need 3 hours. I just need 45 minutes to do the recording. So I'm at a loss because on one hand, it's like, usually I speed these things up and I try to keep the videos to like 10 to 15 minutes. But I don't know. I feel like I talk maybe a bit too long in a way, but maybe it's fun. So that's sort of something that I might start doing with speed paintings or just paintings in general digitally, is I might keep it to maybe a 30-minute marker, just so then we could have a little chat and we could talk. So I hope you guys aren't tired of my voice, because we're going to try that today. We'll try to keep this video to the 30-minute mark and see how it does. And also maybe you guys enjoy me not sort of speeding through all of my chats and mindset, I guess. So yeah. Super happy that my computer's now fixed. The New York is kicking off strong. The New Year's is kicking off strong because I have a lot of work to do. It's really kicking, let me tell you. I don't mind it, to be honest. I get why we have a lot of work to do, and it's not too bad. Question mark. The only thing that sort of kind of sucks is that we have to keep track of our hours and what we work on and how long we've worked on those things for, and it's hard because I just stop and I go whenever, and like I just go about my day without keeping track of time. Not the best decision, especially when you're in graphic design. But yeah. So that's basically it. A lot of projects on the go, and I've just been working on them. You will hopefully get to see a process video of one of the projects because I'm redoing it, and yeah, hopefully it turns out well. There's that, and then I also have a lot of video ideas going into the New Year's. This was just one of them. It's a quick one. It's a one video thing. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Unless I decide to make new wallpapers in the future. But yeah, so some of the video ideas that I have for the future is you guys send me screenshots of characters and I draw it in my style. Is that gonna be hell for me? Maybe. Also, that would say that you like my style. I'm sorry if I butcher it. But yeah, that's sort of an idea that I have because first off, I'm not really a part of any fandoms. Told you, I struggle with not having a personality. But, like, I think it would be really cool and it would help to push me in drawing because I get to see what you guys like and maybe watch some new shows or listen to some new music. And then you guys are a bit more involved too because you guys get to send me screenshots of characters or like things that you like. So I think that would be really cool. It could be like bands and their music video, screenshots of that, or like anime, animation, movies, any of things of those sorts. Please keep them appropriate. This is not that kind of page. It's one thing to make inappropriate jokes. It's another thing to see and draw them. But yeah, so like, I think that might be a cool video idea, and then I'd probably limit it to like one screenshot per person. Maybe there's like a cooldown period or something because it's a small community right now, and I probably could fulfill some requests. So yeah, there's that. And then the other idea I had involving you guys would be drawing subscribers' profile pictures, but like a redesign or maybe filling out the whole landscape or something that it is. So I think it'd just be really cool that way, you know, if you want to change your profile picture and have it in my style, you could. It gets you guys involved and sort of shouts out different subscribers. But then on top of that, it would also be just really fun to sort of push my ideas and just have a creative little challenge to do. So there's that. I'm not sure how well that will go. I struggle with accessing subscribers' accounts, which is fair. But yeah, I think it just might be really fun to do something that involves you guys as viewers on the channel and sort of pay back to all the support you guys have been giving me. So yeah. The other thing that I want to do this year would be just probably revisiting all of the OCs. And when I say all, I mean all of them, from failed storylines to OCs on this channel. I want to revisit them, and maybe like we'll do a little just reaction or review of all my characters and their designs, and like see if there's one that I want to redraw and sort of elaborate more on their backstories or figure out their backstories. I just think it'd be a really cool concept to do for the future. So yeah, there is that. And I think that's all that I really want to talk about for video ideas. The other ones are just either some graphic design things and, oh, yes. Okay, there is one other thing that I wanted to do. This is why we have 30-minute videos, because this is going to be a little tiny rant. I think to learn or to grow as a person, you have to be exposed to information. I think it's super important, and it's really dawned on me in the past probably 2 years how true it is, because I've met people in various places of their lives, and I think as long as you grow, you know, it's fine, and you are getting through life, it's also good. But it also made me think about how the rate at which a person grows also depends on how much information they take in. This could be as something as big as life, but it could also be something as small as hobbies or just personal interests. So I think it's really important to sort of teach people and educate people about things, and that's something that stands like, it makes me think about graphic design, because personally I don't think I would have ever gotten into graphic design if I think my mom never mentioned it to me. Because for someone who grew up making art, I only knew it to like the only possible career path would be a visual artist. Nothing wrong with that. It's something that you can absolutely do if you love art a lot, but it wasn't something that I loved enough to pursue as a career. The other thing that I sort of looked into was medical illustrator, which was an option that I did weigh for a little bit, but I think you needed a university degree and then art. So like those were two options that I knew, but I didn't think of anything else, and that's why I pursued a career in sciences. And also looking back, I would have pursued a different path of science too if I knew just a bit more. So with that being said, I sort of want to do either a video just on graphic design, because I feel like if you're here at this channel because you love art, and you're like, I don't really want to do that as a career, but I want something similar that's like in the creativity section, graphic design might be for you. So I feel like either doing at least one video on graphic design, just talking about it, you know, having a conversation about it and exposing people who might want to do it in the future and just never heard of it before, would be a good thing to do. But if I find it interesting enough, I might just research a whole bunch of jobs on the surface level, because obviously I don't have personal experience with them, and just sort of have like a mini fun speed painting while I introduce people to those career pathways. Because we're, for time and time again, we stand at this crossroad trying to debate what we want to do for the rest of our lives, thinking that a career pathway will be until the end of time or until we retire, and not realize that with the right support and systems, we could either change careers, or perhaps you just haven't been exposed to the thing that you're really, that's something that you really like. So I think it would be sort of a cool series to do like a speed painting of the really bizarre jobs or like an interesting job, and then to sort of just talk about it, and maybe it will spark an interest to viewers to sort of explore a bit more and research a bit more into the field, and maybe that will be a job that you would like to take on. So yeah, I just think it'd be a really good idea to do just a mini series, nothing too serious, and it's not taking over this channel. It'll probably still be on a speed painting. But yeah, to do something like that, because I understand the struggle of sort of picking out what you want to do for the rest of your life, and a part of me just wants to make it a bit easier if you are at that point in your life, to sort of expose you a little bit to different careers that you might find interesting. That's just something that I feel like would be a good thing to do. So yeah, because I know if I wasn't told about graphic design, I would be suffering through sciences still, and probably not be very passionate about it. Or I'd go into psychology. That was actually something that I wish I did. I might not have ended up in graphic design, but I also just find psychology to be very interesting. But now I'm like, maybe I won't go to university, and I'll just use something that's really helpful called the internet and research a bit more into psychology and just learn things on my spare time. So yeah. Which, by the way, I think if you are planning to pursue sciences, paying money to go to university is a good reason too, because not only like am I learning things, but university teaches you things that you didn't quite think of. Even just like now, looking back at it, I'm glad I did 4 years of some sort of sciences, because I do like the sciences, especially psychology and forensics. But I also learned like how to take in detailed information. So scientific papers, I understand how to read them and where to look for the fine lines. Because one of my friends mentioned to me today, like yesterday, about how Tetris, specifically Tetris, is proven to help with trauma, but they didn't read the fine print. Because I looked at articles, like several, not just one of them. And one of the first article that popped up was how Tetris can help with PTSD. But the fine line is that they chose Tetris because it was more convenient to access. You could get the mobile app for free, or you could go on the internet and play it for free. So, like, that's part of the reason why they chose Tetris, and they chose it basically because it's a visual organizing puzzle game that is convenient to play, but also because it has a dynamic leveling system that it levels up as you progress, and not just you choose a level and it starts off hard. So, like, there's that fine line, and there's the other fine line with the first article that Tetris only helps if you start immediately, but they also had, I believe, therapy sessions as well, which both group that are both doing Tetris and not doing Tetris still improved. right? And then the other article was about how it could help to reduce stress. And once again, the only reason they used Tetris was because it's convenient for everyone to obtain and play. And then stress is a bit different than trauma. So yeah, there's fine prints that like I wouldn't have looked into that if I wasn't interested in psychology and sciences. So I also wouldn't have caught those fine lines if it wasn't for university. So it's things like that that I think are really cool. And if you do love science and you're like, I absolutely want to pursue it, university I don't think is a giant waste of money, even though, you know, it's like $16,000 a year and you have to buy textbooks and you suffer, but you do learn some skills, and if you're passionate about it, you know, why not? So yeah, that was my university experience. And also the other thing that I did learn, because I took an epidemiology course, is sometimes you can't quite trust the source you're reading. There was like this incident with wind turbines when they first came, especially to Canada, where a book was written about all the chronic symptoms that you can have if you are chronically exposed to them. And then I think it was proven to be false eventually, but because this person was backed up by their degree and whatnot, people just believed them, and they also didn't want wind turbines, so then they also just were a bit biased and believed that, you know, wind turbines are terrible, which they do have some things that can come out for them, like wind turbines has their pros and cons as well, but like basically what I'm trying to say is that some things you have to think a bit about and research a bit more than just trust one article that you were reading. Also, don't always trust the little blurbs that pop up on Instagram and other things. Do your research. And double check things, because not everything's on the internet is true, said Abraham Lincoln, obviously. So, yeah. I hope you guys do enjoy this video, though, and the little rant that I had. Very weird, my mindset. It's just a whole bunch of neurons shooting and lighting each other up, and it's a very random order. So, yeah. I hope you guys do enjoy the video, though, the little speed painting. It's not sped up that much, but yeah. I hope you guys also have a wonderful day, and I just thank you guys so much for the support and commenting on the videos and just always lighting up my days when I read you guys' comment, no matter really what they say. I get a laugh out of it. And yeah, it's just been really great to see how the community has grown in the past years and sort of see how I've changed, and also just have these little recordings so then I can say, yeah, I do other things on my spare time and not just, you know, be a slave to art. I do love art. It's just I feel like I have zero life outside of it. And I feel like it's not a bad thing, but I also feel like I'm not able to relate to other people. I'm sort of an atypical person. Which, funny thing, we're having to do an ad for basically my generation, put that in quotation marks, because it's like a mental health campaign, which is really good, but it's supposed to be for college students. And the instructor's like, yeah, so for your generation, you know, think your type of humor, but make it into a funny or a happier mental health campaign. And I was like, man, this is really hard, because I'm not in touch with memes. I did not grow up watching AFS? A something? I did not watch Salad Fingers. I didn't watch Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I was not into the internet a lot, and I was also not into like Tumblr or very much into Facebook and things like that. And my Instagram feed, I feel like, is completely different than what the typical Gen Z looks like, because it's a lot of art and a lot of journaling, self-care, a bit of humor every now and then, but it's also just really heavily art. right? So I actually find the project to be quite difficult to do, just purely because I'm out of touch with the culture. Like, pop culture references, I haven't watched The Office. I haven't watched Community. Please don't come after me for this. It's just, I find it hard to commit to TV series and things that takes a lot of attention away from things that I want to be or should be doing. So, yeah, I'm a really boring person, but like I find it hard. I just find it really difficult to relate to people of my generation that aren't my friends, because once again, like, I feel like we're also atypical because a lot of my friends are either immigrants or their parents are immigrants, or like we're just not into the mainstream or pop culture. So it's tricky. And I have people like at college are like, how do you not know these things? And I literally looked over to one of my desk mates because she's older than us. And we're both like, what is going on? And they're like giving me crap just because I am part of their generation, but I just don't know those things. Instead, I just know about scientific papers and forensics and have really weird thoughts. So yeah, pros and cons about being a bit different. Yay. But yeah, so like I was struggling. I still am struggling because I'm also not a gamer. I play Breath of the Wild once in a while. And I don't play like much games outside of that, and I have friends over here that are like, we should get this game on Steam, and I'm like, I am just gonna play it with you guys for maybe 5 hours in total, and that's it. And it's like a waste of $50 for this game, and I'm like, I don't have money to spend for something I'm gonna use for 5 hours and never touch again, unfortunately. So yeah, I need to figure out a solution to that because it's just not really worth it for me. And I'm like, I don't mind you guys have a hobby in gaming. It's just that it's not interesting to me, and I sort of feel like I'm being forced to play in a way. So I just don't really want to do that. But yeah. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I hope everyone stays warm if they are in the northern hemisphere because it's winter. And yeah, I'm gonna probably wrap up the video. I'm gonna try not to sneeze. Okay, that's concealed. And yeah, stay safe, stay hydrated, take care of yourself, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!